Super Mutants attacked our settlement, and there's only 3 of us left. Oh my God. I think they're back. Please, anyone, coordinates are attached. Please, help us.
We received the message last night and headed to the coordinates mentioned. There was no one left, and the settlement had been destroyed. We've followed tracks and found some super mutants have made a camp. There's a cage in the middle of the camp with 3 scared settlers. Hopefully, we can rescue them.
Hungry. I go find food. What? I hear something. Very well. Back to work.
I think if we distract those mutants, it might give the settlers a chance to sneak out of there.
Do you know how much super mutant blood stains? I mean, it's not like you have to wash it out.
Oh, stop your complaining, Giles.
Very well, ma'am.
Hello and welcome to my latest battle report. This one will be played on my 3x3 foot board. The super mutants will be based along the top, there, and there. And the survivors will enter from the bottom. The mission today features our survivor Giles and Hope, who will be attempting to distract the super mutants so the settlers can escape. Players for this match are the survivor with her 10mm pistol, hunter's hunting rifle and wearing her metal armour that she got from the last side story, Giles with his Mr. Handy buzzsaw and flamer, and Hope with her dog bite. Up against them we have an aviator. He's carrying a pipe pistol, a bloodied board and wearing an aviator cap. There's also a brute who's carrying a sledgehammer and he's wearing chains and a bladed helmet. There'll be 2 standard super mutants, both carrying pipe rifles and boards and wearing metal armour, and accompanying them 2 mutant hounds with a dog bite attack. So let's get started with round 1. The main objective here for the survivors are to distract these super mutants so the settlers can try and bust out of their cage. That won't be happening till the start of round 3 though. So let's get started with round 1. So I'm going to start off here. Hope's going to take a couple of moves up the board there. Get into a position where she can attack hopefully next round. First up, the super mutants. The aviator is going to take a single move there, and then he's going to take a single shot with his pipe pistol at Hope. And that's a miss. She's lucky because that would have been 3 damage there. Up next, Giles is going to take, again, a couple of moves up. He's going to get into combat with the aviator there. Because he floats, Giles can go straight over any of the difficult terrain there without any penalty of movement. Up next, the first super mutant is going to take 2 moves down, so he'll be able to join in that combat in the next round. So our survivor here, it's no VATs for the first round. She's going to take a couple of shots at long range into that first mutant there. So first attack, that's a crit with an armour break. So that is 1 damage against 2 armour, so that's 2 damage he's taken for the first shot. Second attack, that's a hit with an armour break again. So that's 2 damage against 1 armour, and he takes another 2 damage. Up next, our mutant hound's going to take a couple of moves to get into combat with Giles there. So the brute, he's going to dogpile in there as well against Giles. The super mutant at the far side there, he's going to take 2 shots into this melee. He's aiming for Giles, but he could hit anybody, to be honest. So first attack, that's a crit. I'm going to roll the dice here to see who he actually hits. So it'll be a 1, a 2, a 3 and a 4. Rolled a 2, so that first shot's going to go through to the aviator, so we'll roll for his armour and see what damage he takes. So rolled 3, he takes 1 damage. Second attack, that's a crit again. That's a 2 again, so that's into the aviator again. He's rolled a 1, so he's blocked the 1 damage there. So over to round 2. We're going to have Giles attacking the Aviator. So he's hitting on 5s with his Bethesda. That's a miss for the first attack. And the second attack, that's also a miss. So up next, the Super Mutant there. He's going to take a couple of shots. That's a hit with an extra damage. Blocks 1, takes 1. Second attack. That's a miss. So Hope's going to return the favour by charging into that Super Mutant. And they're going to get a single attack there. So that is a crit with an extra damage. So that's 3 damage against 3 armour. Rolls a 4, so takes all 3 damage. So the Aviator's going to break off his attack because they outnumber Giles, so he can break off freely. And he's going to get a single attack against Hope, so let's see how he does with his bloody board. And that's a miss. Survivor next, they're going to take a couple of shots at the Super Mutant up at the top. So we're going to start by rolling for VATS. That's 1 VATS this round, so they get an extra move or attack. So that's going to be 3 attacks against the Super Mutants at the top. So first attack, that's a hit with an armour break. So that's 2 damage against 1 armour. And he takes the 2 damage. So second attack, that's actually a crit with 3 damage. Blocks 1, takes another 2. Final attack on the Super Mutant. That is a hit again with 3 damage once again. So that is 3 damage against 1 armour. Doesn't block any of it. So that's the Super Mutant taking 3 damage. He's only got 6 health. So he's out the game. Bye. Our Hound's going to take a couple of bites into Giles here. That's a hit. It's 3 damage with an armour break. So let's see if Giles can block any of that. Giles blocks 1, takes 2. And the second attack is a miss. So the Brute is going to carry on assaulting Giles. That's a hit with an armour break. And he actually blocks both of those. Second attack, that's a hit with an extra 2 damage. So that's 4 damage against 2 armour. So Giles unfortunately is dead because he doesn't manage to block any of that second attack. So last for this round, we're just going to have that Mutant Hound. He's going to be moving in there. A couple of moves, see if we can get in contact with Hope. So because it's started round 3, I'm going to roll a couple of dice to see if I can get these settlers out of there. And we've rolled the 2 luck on the first, so they're going to be making a move out of there. So the way I'm going to play this is every single round I'm going to roll another luck die. If they roll the clover, they've managed to sneak out of there. If they haven't, then they've been spotted. So the Sole Survivor is going to take a couple of attacks onto the Brute there. Roll for VATS for a start. So that's 2 VATS, so that's a couple of extra attacks or a couple of moves I can actually do as well. So let's see how she does against the Brute here. So the first attack, that's a crit with an armour break, so that's 2 damage, goes straight through against the Brute there. Second attack, that is an extra damage there, so that's 3 damage against 1 armour. Doesn't block any of it, so the 3 goes through. Third roll, that's a hit with an armour break, so that's 2 damage. And the final roll here, that again is a hit with an armour break, 3 damage, 3 damage goes straight through, and the Brute has fallen. So Super Mutants down to 1 Super Mutant and the 2 Hounds left. So let's see how they get on. So we're going to take the Aviator against Hope here. That's going to be 2 attacks with their bloody board again. So that's a miss with a quick action. And the second attack, that's a crit with an extra damage. So that's 3 damage against 2 armor. Takes 1. So Hope's going to return the favour against the Aviator. First attack is a crit with 2 armor break and an extra damage there. So that is 3 damage straight through. Second attack is also a hit and an armor break again. So that's 2 damage through again to them. So we're going to move the Hound into attacking Hope there. So first attack, we've got a crit with an extra 2 damage and an armor break. That's 1 armor against 4 damage. Blocks 1, takes 3. And their second attack, that is also a crit with 3 damage. Doesn't block any of it, just takes an extra 2. To finish off this round, we're going to have the second Hound again take a move into Hope, and that's a miss. So the top of round 4, we're going to have the Mutant Hound take a bite out of Hope there. So first attack, that is 3 damage against 2 armor. Blocks 2, takes 1. Second attack, that's a quick action. It would be a broken limb, but that's 2 armor break. Hope's only got 2 armor, so they take 2 damage and they're unfortunately down as well. So we're left with the sole survivor, who's going to take a couple of attacks into the first Hound there. So we'll roll for VATS for a start. That's 1 VATS. So first attack, that's a hit. So it's 2 damage against 1 armor. And we take the 2 damage. Second attack, that's a hit with an armor break. So that's 2 damage. And for the third attack, that's a miss. So the Hound's going to take a move and then a charge into the survivor there. The Settlers, they've hit the lock, so they're going to be able to start moving out of the cage. They're going to have to stop off at that first gore bag there to pick up their equipment. So all 3 Settlers are going to have to do that. So the Aviator's going to take a couple of moves down. He's going to try and get into close contact with his survivor, just so he can avoid the mistake of shooting his friend there. And to end the round, the other 2 Settlers are going to make out the cage. So for the top of round 5, the card I drew was a lightning strike. I'm going to ignore the Settlers for this round, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3 or 4. So let's see who ends up getting hit by lightning. So that's our survivor for the first person, and the Mutant Hound there. So now we've got to roll the blue die. If we roll a star, then there's no... So we've rolled the star straight off, so there's no actual damage from lightning strike and the lightning's finished. So we'll start off, the Hound is going to take a couple of attacks into the survivor. So first roll there is a miss. Second roll is a crit with an armor break and an extra damage, so that's 3 damage, and they block it all. So the survivor is going to take an attack against the Hound there. That's a crit with 4 damage. They are just dead, they can't block it, they've only got a couple of health left. So for the second attack, they're going to take a shot into the Aviator. That again is a crit with, again, 4 damage. So that's 4 damage against 1 armor. Takes the 4 damage, and that's the Aviator off the board now as well. And to finish off the round, the Mutant Hound is going to take 1 move and then charge into her survivor there. So we're going to test our luck again. They're going to be able to take another couple of moves further off the board. So we're just going to move all 3 of them now. So just a bit of filler for the event card this round again. So the Hound's going to take a couple of attacks into Survivor. First roll, that's a miss. Second roll, that's a hit with an armor break, so that's 3 damage against 2 armor. Blocks 2, takes 1. And now over to Survivor. They've got 1 VATS for this round. So first attack is a crit with an extra damage. Doesn't block any of it, so they take 3 damage. Second attack, and that is a miss. And for their third attack, that's a hit with an extra damage. So that's doesn't block any of it. That's another 3 damage. So that dog is also gone. So that is all the Super Mutants and their Hounds wiped out. So it just remains for the sole survivor to take a walk over and have a chat with these settlers here. See what's going on.
Thank you so much. I don't know what we would have done if you hadn't turned up when you did.
That's no problem. Are any of you hurt?
Just a little bit of psychological trauma from those big green freaks busting down the door.
Have you seen any place we could head to catch our breath?
Well, there's a cabin a couple of miles down the road. It seems safe enough to hole up for a bit. I'll meet you there once I check on my friends.
Thanks
Thanks.
again.
Who there? Humans. Humans who? Kill the humans! Kill them all! Oh, oh, oh! That good one! Is life just a cruel illusion?